What's going on, guys? Happy Sundays to all of you out there that are, kicking back, relaxing, wanted to do a shave with me, Subi Shaves. And today we're going to be using a Gillette Slim. This was given to me. I received it in a secret package that came in yesterday from a very good friend, and I am thrilled. This is the first vintage adjustable Gillette DE razor that I've ever owned. And I'm going to be doing a head shave with it today. We're going to be using Takeout Night. And I've never used this. This is from Lather Bros. I've never used this. I've never used their brand. We ordered it. My wife bought it as a kind of a surprise because she liked the scent profile. It had like lemon, lime, ginger, and like pepper, like red pepper. What I smell is like all those things, but like in a very nice citrusy, like you get lots of the ginger, lots of the lemon, and then a little bit of the cayenne. Like it has like some cayenne or something in it. Interesting. It's interesting. I think it's a vegetable base. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a vegetable base. We're gonna try it out. We're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna be using the Gillette or the Cremo Silverwater and Birch as a pre-shave. You know me, I like that. I like to put that on before the shave. And we're gonna be using Lab Blues today. These are the Personna USA Lab Blues. And it wouldn't be a Subi Shaves video if we weren't doing something. So I referenced using half a DE blade in your vintage DEs yesterday or 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And we're gonna be doing the same thing today. This is loaded already to kind of speed things up. I know that time was a little long last time. And I know if my video is too long, nobody wants to watch it. I'm gonna try to get this into focus. You guys see how there's half a DE blade in there? And if you can believe this, there's actually two of them. I have two DE blades, two half DE blades loaded. And what that's gonna look like up front. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. Yeah, there's two DE blades in there, two half DE blades in there stacked together, full blades. And the reason why I do this is I like that it gives my DE blades a little bit more firmness. It actually helps give it a little bit more of an injector fill. Now, I did attempt to load an injector into this like I talked about in my one video. Guys, what I found is this is a little too manufactured. It's too well put together on the inside. If you look at this razor versus this razor, the Gillette razor actually has more built up on the sides to help the DE blade stay in place. And it just is a little too tight for the injector blade. And it was too fiddly. And yeah, I could make it work. It's like 1 millimeter, like you could sand that one little millimeter off and shave with an injector in there. Or I've been looking at getting some B-lines, some ProLine B-lines, the B20s, because I hear they're just that little bit shorter. They may work. But as far as getting one to work for today, I just gave up on it. And I'm gonna use half a DE blade because I'm a head shaver and I feel like it's much easier to manage when it's half a DE blade. And even that, I was talking to my friend that sent me the razor. He was kind of surprised. He's like, I didn't think you could even do that with the way it's supposed to hold the blades. And honestly, the mechanism in it's fascinating. It like lifts and raises based on these two little tabs on the inside. The Gillette vintage razors are just mechanically interesting. But from what I can tell, the blade's staying put. It's taut. I was able to dry shave part of my arm. So I think it should work good today. We're gonna find out. Like I said, this is my first time ever using vintage DE from any company. I'm really excited that it's coming from Gillette though, because I know the Gillette line is really well respected in the community. Right now you're probably asking, you're like, why Josh would you shave with only half the DE blade? And I talk a lot about that in my PAA Crimson Ghost discussion. But guys, for me, I got sick and tired of cutting my hand. It's actually why I ended up switching over to like the twig and the leaf, because when I go to put that razor here, I'm not fighting both sides of that razor. Talk a lot about it in 2 videos ago, if you're curious. So this is just, it works better for me with half of DE blade. Like, right, you just turn your DE into an SE. And the SE guys are not happy about it. They're like, oh, well, it's still using a DE, right? The DE guys are like, well, it's not a DE blade then. Like, whatever it is, the all blade system works, and I like it. Just the much better system for me. And you may notice, it's kind of what I wanted to get on today and talk about, is that your vintage DE razor may work better or may have less tolerance. And I think I haven't addressed that enough. When I get on and I do a video and I'm like, look what fits in my razor. You may have that similar razor at your house, and it doesn't work the same way. And that's just, was manufacturing tolerances, and they varied widely in the vintage era. I just wanted to get on here and say, again, what works in mine, what doesn't work in mine, may be slightly different in yours. So when you're watching this and you're doing it at home, take that into account, especially the vintage stuff, guys. Vintage stuff, it just kind of, it's a different experience, right? These are beautiful little unique personalities. They're the snowflake razors, guys. And as such, you're gonna have to kind of, like what I'm doing. That's why I do everything on camera, because I want you guys to see that you may have to do some finagling. There may be 2 seconds extra of how does this work and how do I get it to work. I just want to prove concept more than like say it's going to work for everybody's. Okay, so this, again, half a DE blade. I just cut it in the middle with scissors, and then I cut the blade wings off, the side tabs. And I cut the side tabs off so they don't hang out off the sides. Right? There's no blade tabs here, which I like. And nothing to catch my ear on. And we're going to start this guy on a 3. Going with a 3. I don't know. From dry shaving my arm, a 3 felt pretty good. And I hope everybody's Sunday is going awesome. I have cool news for everyone. We hit 40 subscribers. We're at that point now. I talked about it yesterday in my very, very long 40-minute video, where I would consider us able to host a little venue, little shaving venue, a little Josh Squad shaving venue. Oh no, I forgot my alum stick again. Happens to me every single time, guys. I swear to you, what are you guys good at making signs? Let me know. I need to get a sign made that says, Josh, did you forget your stupid alum stick? I hate having to drop out of set. You know me, like when I do these videos, I don't do any edits. If I hack myself up, you guys are gonna watch it. Like if all of a sudden I just start bleeding, you guys are gonna see it because I'm not gonna edit, right? That defeats the purpose here. If you guys are curious, my experience in the wet shaving world with DEs is pretty limited, because I had such a bad run with 3 of them in a row that I switched over to the leaf and the twig, and kind of from there, vintage. I talked about that whole progression. I really didn't delve too far into it, because my whole entire concept was, well, if 3 in a row were this bad, and it wasn't even bad. It was just they took a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of effort. And this, again, guys, this Gillette Slim, it's in a league of its own compared to the DEs that I've used. This is fantastic. This is really great. I'm really enjoying this. And I chose the Lab Blues. Again, I just used them yesterday. Just because I had such a good shave yesterday. It lasted all day. And the comfort and closeness, guys, for me on that razor was so good. On that blade, I was just like, I'm going to use it again tomorrow. They do say made in America, so they're for sure made in America. Man, this is just decimating. Look at that. And that's on a 3. Look at the efficiency out of this. And the double stack blades, guys, it does help. I know that sounds dumb. And I know that sounds so, like, I had somebody reach out and say, well, doesn't the hair just go in between? When I clean my blades out, yeah, there's definitely hair in there. But from what I've found, is it tightens that blade up so much that it just feels lovely. Man, this is just phenomenal. I'm really enjoying this. My dear friend, I don't know if he wants me to use names, but he's been a huge contributor. I can say, you know, that he has literally been, like the guy in my corner, it's like the ultra enabler. I went out yesterday vintage shopping and had him on the other line the entire time as I was going through these like antique stores. I'm like, okay, I found this. Is this a good deal? Because he knows so much. It's a cool community, man. Cool community out there. Really cool. Very, very cool. I mean, it's gross, like, right? You guys are like, oh man, that's gross. I'm not sure what's that dank lather. I know. Hey, I know. You guys are here for it. You're here for the head shave. You want to see the kind of stubble that's coming off. And, you know, the cost, closeness, and comfort, guys. These razors, these vintage Gillettes, they are, in my opinion, not only a good value for what you get, right? Because, like, you buy something like this. This is the Viking sword, right? Buy something like this for 60 bucks. And sure, it's never been used, right? It's never been used. But the quality difference in the two razors is just astounding. And I can understand, there's a lot of, like, talking with the guy that sent me this, there's a lot of things that can be wrong with one of these. So you'd want to buy one, if you were coming into the world of wet shaving for the first time, you'd want to buy one from a reputable place. And that even is kind of intimidating. Well, what's reputable, right? I think you find an eBay seller or something, an Etsy seller, that they've got a lot of razors where they say it's working. You know, I also, when I've been buying on eBay, I like to buy from somebody that's responsive. If you reach out and I say, is this X, Y, and Z, and they respond back, that's a good sign for me usually. If they come back and they're like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I bought a razor like that. It was I bought a Chic adjustable M2. I won't get into the nitty gritties here, but it was mislabeled, mismarked. It had been, you know, thrown into a category that didn't make sense. I think it was under bikes. Like, it didn't make any sense. The category it had been placed in, right? That obviously was somebody that did not have any idea what they were selling. And I knew that. And when I bought the razor, I actually bought it thinking to myself, I'm getting this for a better deal than I probably should, because this person doesn't know what they have, and the risk is that I'm going to get something that doesn't work. But if you're coming into this and you're wanting to buy something that's a good quality razor, guys, for a good cost, right? C's. This vintage really is a good value, in my opinion, for what you can buy otherwise. Predicating you can get one that works. And I think there's a lot of these that, you know, that are floating around that need some work, that need some cleaning, but otherwise would be in good repair. Just kind of have to go with it. Secondly, the comfort of this, I love how adjustable it is. I was playing around with it before I started the video. And like a 2, guys, a 2 is significantly different than 1. in blade fill. And the 3, which is what I'm using right now, is like perfect for me, is mid aggressiveness. And I was talking to my friend, I'm like, man, that thing really has a lot of adjustability to it. And he's like, oh yeah, you get used to it. You get that sucker up to 6 or 7. I was like, 6 or 7? Yeah, definitely not gonna be me for a long time, 6 or 7, man. But this is a great little razor, great comfort with the shave so far, using 2 DE blades. And the closeness, I can tell by the size of the lather that's the stubble that's coming out, right? You guys can see it on camera even, how thick the stubble is coming off. And how dense that stubble is coming off. Like, this is annihilating it, it's knocking it down. And I'm doing it with just one side. I'm kind of curious what a 4 feels like. After doing this. Because I can almost shave with it like, with the wrong angle, with like a really aggressive steep angle. And that's one thing about head shavers. I don't think like normal face shavers understand is like, we'll keep a 30-degree angle. Well, yeah, sure, it's nice for you to say. When it's backwards on my head, you know, it's really hard to maintain a perfectly crisp 30-degree angle. Sometimes you go too steep, sometimes you go too, you go too shallow. It's nice to have a little bit of wiggle room. But you guys, look at this. Look at all that stubble back there. I mean, it's still knocking it down. And I think this is just partially because I'm at a 3. We're gonna crank it up. Let's go to a 4. Let's do it. And so I talked to the person that sent me this. He's like, Josh, Gillette Slims, these vintage Slims, you never adjust the dial without it being open. So you open it first, guys. And he said you don't have to open it all the way, but we're gonna open it all the way. We're gonna go to a 4. And we're gonna close her back up. Again, just make sure that your blade, if you're gonna do this, is sitting where what OEM. I don't know if you guys can see my blade at this point. It's just so covered in soap. Loving that, man. That's cool. What a cool little razor. No wonder this the King Gillette, right, killed things like the rolls. So my buddy, right, he sent me a couple other razors. One of them was a rolls. And I was dicking around with that thing yesterday. I shaved my leg, guys. I totally shaved my leg. And the blade is definitely not shave ready. I'm gonna say that right out loud. Like, I stropped the crap out of that thing. I'm not a great bladesmith. I'm not. I use a disposable blade for a reason. Because I am not a bladesmith, guys. And like sharpening, honing, getting these some of those wedge blades to be really sharp again, not my expertise. I tried YouTubing. I was like, I'm on YouTube. I'll watch some YouTube. Obviously, YouTube's the answer. I am not an expert at even watching YouTube. But I can see where like people that didn't want to strop and want to learn that hobby and learn that art, why they switched to a disposable blade. This is working really good. Oh, see, 4 is where I should have been. 4 is the money for my head. I don't know if that would work great on my face, but yeah, screw it, we'll find out. How about that? Oh my goodness, yeah. See, that just feels awesome. It feels very nice. Huh. Very good. When I first started, guys, there's no way I would have jumped into vintage. I think some dudes are lucky. I think what happens is they inherit a razor from like a relative, right? My grandfather used one of these. So maybe somebody else's, grandfather passed one down and they're like, oh, I'm going to use grandpa's razor. And I think that's how they get started. I wasn't so fortunate. And as such, I had to kind of start from fresh. And I think starting from fresh is kind of a disadvantage because there's so many options, right? There's so many different, you go on Amazon even, you type in DE, it is overwhelming how many options exist. And you start thinking about buying a used vintage razor and you're like, okay, that's, you know, maybe not for me. And I can totally see that. I think I would have been the same way. Because when I was reading, people were like, well, you should just switch to a vintage, even on a few of the forums. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think so. It's a little more intimidating, and I don't know if it's going to work. And then in the end, the modern stuff I had bought was actually less capable. And that's not to say that's a bad razor. You may have one at home and like it. It works okay. The one I have works okay. There's definitely a reason why I switched over to other razors. I actually think the Vanderhagen from the grocery store is a better razor. Hold on. Gotta do around my ears, but awesome. No complaints. The vintage Gillette Slim just obviously kicked butt. You guys saw it. There's no cuts. There's no dings. There's no nicks. Actually, I have a missed spot right here. But it has so much like thickness from my lather. Residual slickness from that skin food. That I can just kind of get in there, and you can even see it's taking some extra of that. You can see just if I wipe my head, I have some residual. Maybe a little right there. Just get in. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it really, really, really fast. Check this out. This is why I only use half a DE. Imagine taking your razor, right guys? Imagine having that hit your finger right here as you're going against the grain. See how I rest that even on my finger? I haven't learned. I still rest this son of a gun on my finger. Oh my goodness. Yep, you see that? You see how I actually still do that? You guys seeing that? How I actually still, I'm like, oh, I'll just set that on my hand, no problems. There's a reason why I use half of the blade. Call it laziness, guys. Call it what it is, but I put that on my hand. And I'm telling you, I thought I was going to have to go to a hospital one of the times. There was so much blood. Oh, that's a great shave. Yeah, there was so much blood. And all I did was rest that against my finger. And when I went to move, it just did this right through my finger. So now we load half a DE blade, guys, even in the slim. And I load 2 of DE blades stacked together in the slim. And again, that gives it a little more thickness. It gives it a little bit more smoothness to me. Some DEs will chatter when they flex. And this just kind of takes away all the rest of the slack that a DE blade's gonna have. I did not invent this. I don't know if I invented it in the slim. I may be the first person to put 2 DE blades in the slim. I don't know. It's ancient. I would assume that's probably not the case. Try not to be as narcissistic as some of you might think. And I hope, right, that I don't come across as narcissistic or egotistical. I would not anticipate that I'm the only person to ever do that, but I'm getting an awesome shave regardless, using half the E-blade. Oh my goodness, yep. What an awesome, awesome little razor. What a cool experience, man. And I talk a lot about that on this channel, the experience of shaving. You know, this is so old, and it has so much personality. too far down. Did I mess it up? No, it was okay. Get into the groove. Yeah, perfect. Check it out. Lots of good stubble coming off my face today. I don't know about you guys, my stubble changes like day to day. I'm like, oh, I guess I grew more last night than usual. Yeah. Very nice. Very good DE shave. Very nice DE. Very good DE shave. Again, to my friend that sent me this, I'll talk to him and find out if I can just keep throwing out his name. I talked about him a bunch. Like I said, he's been an awesome person to interact with. He's very, very active on social media, and he's very knowledgeable. I think I rely on people that are more knowledgeable than myself, right? I do not have all the answers. I don't have all the experience. Heck, I don't have all the toys. Like I said, this is my first vintage DE adjustable ever. And I think that's awesome. I think that's super cool. What an experience. And I wanted to do it on camera with you guys. I was going to do it by myself, right? And be like, oh, I'll just shave alone today. But a lot of dudes out there are terrified to shave, go get a DE from an antique store. I was one of them. If I saw a DE in an antique store, even last month, I would have been hesitant to buy it. Just out of fear that it wouldn't work and what to look for. And even with this guy, when he sent it to me, he said, Josh, here's like the 8 things you need to know. You need to make sure that it closes and locks down tight, and that the last little bit when you lock it actually locks. You want to check the adjustment knot, and make sure the adjustments thing work and click well. And I know that's kind of a buzzkill when I'm like, well, just join a forum. I hate saying that. But guys, the forum life really changed my experience. And a lot of you guys out there are so knowledgeable. You're helpful. And there are some guys out there that intentionally are going to try to make the experience bad. They just exist. I don't know why that has to be a thing, but it's a thing. But there's, I'd say 99% of guys out there that are doing this, they're in this hobby. If you were to ask and say, hey, listen, I'm buying X, Y, and Z, or I'm looking to buy X, Y, and Z, what do I look for? Those are guys that are going to get in and help. And I need to adjust this line right here. And I'm so thankful for the forum boards. Because, as a collection, guys, as a community, as a collection of knowledge, we have a lot of experience and a lot of good ideas. Like the idea of having a single edge DE razor, right? Talked to Luca yesterday, and I'm going to use his name because I don't think he'll care. And he was like so chill about it. He's like, yeah, dude. What do you mean you couldn't figure that out? It's easy. Yeah, there's some guys out there that are so helpful and they have such good ideas. Yeah, the forum boards are awesome. And I'm so excited I was able to actually do a vintage DE shave on camera. Full head, face. We're gonna do neck. No nicks, no dings, no cuts. Right? This would have been so intimidating to me even 2 months ago. And it's possible, guys. You can do it. I don't even think that I have some crazy amount of experience and that this is unattainable. It really is just such a good, enjoyable experience. Like, right? I think part of it for me is it's just so enjoyable to shave this way. I look forward to it. And I really hope, like I said, the channel's goal is that you guys can all enjoy yours as much. That's all I want. And if you do get a DE razor as an inheritance, like I said, I wasn't that lucky, but if you were, and you have this awesome piece of equipment, this amazing piece of vintage history, you know, you can watch this and say, okay, that guy did this, I'm gonna try that. Like I said, I always do 2 passes against the grain on my neck. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great. That's a fantastic razor. Oh my goodness, yeah. Slim. Whew. And I know people are like really fond of the Fat Boy, and maybe someday I'll try one of those out. But the Slim is money. That is a great. If I find a Fat Boy in the antique shops, man, I'm gonna pick one up. That is a really nice, comfortable shave. Very, very comfortable shave. Yeah. And today, I don't really talk about it. I used the A&E brush, guys, so everyone's aware. A&E brush, I know I didn't mention it super early, I apologize. I was too excited about the razor. We're gonna be using, it is number 1999, and it's a lemon fragrance. I just wanted to add lemon to the splash, right? To not the splash, but to the already lemon soap. All 40 of you, thank you for coming in, for enjoying a shave with me, and just being willing to listen to me ramble. And hopefully, when you watch something, you're like, that stuck. That's cool. I want to do that. That's all I'm hoping for. I hope everybody has an awesome Sunday. Maybe you'll shave today with something you've never used, right? I hope I inspired that, right? If I did, comment below. Tell me what you're using for the first time, or that you've had problems with, that you're gonna use after watching one of my videos that you think may work now. I would love to know. It would be awesome. It'd be fascinating. And maybe I can get ideas from you guys. Like, I'll watch what you guys are having problems with, and I'm gonna see if I can't help. Again, you guys rock. This is all for you. Have an awesome Sunday. Bye, guys.